News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. What a wonderful, wonderful morning it is as we approach Independence Day weekend. Record travel expected. AAA claiming, they're predicting, they're forecasting that it will be a record-setting travel weekend. To me, that means traffic lockdown. Remember Cochrane Africatown Bridge. If you've got to go somewhere this weekend from one side to the other, remember Cochrane Africatown Bridge. This needs to be something you remember. Don't get caught up the way I have been caught up recently in some of that traffic. How are you? You can email me, unclehenry@gmail.com. That's unclehenry@gmail.com. Video on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page and on the Uncle Henry Show YouTube channel. I have attempted to commemorate the Independence Day weekend by wearing a form of red, white, and blue, but I'm not dressed like Uncle Sam or anything like that. But I am trying to show some type of patriotic color scheme in the clothing. Now let's see. The president has tweeted this morning. He has not savagely attacked anyone on Twitter this morning. I will keep an eye open in case of some attack. Last night I tuned into CNN to see what they were talking about. And it was all Donald Trump Twitter. The time that I tuned in, it was nonstop Twitter talk. And it really made me wonder about the whole purpose of his savage attack tweet. Because instead of talking about anything that was actually news, it was a panel of people on CNN talking about Twitter, and it was, let me see if I can remember how it went. Did the president go too far on Twitter? Well, not really too far. Oh, yes, he did go too far. And that little bit that I just shared with you, my recreation of a CNN panel, not expertly done, but the best I could do, that went on for minute after minute after minute after minute, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it never rose above that. That was the level of the discussion. It wasn't really too far. Yes, it was. That's all it was. It was like a dog chasing its tail. It was of no value. And it made me wonder, was that the point? Was that the real point of those tweets? They appeared to have been manipulated. Whether Donald Trump meant to manipulate them, they sure looked like they had been manipulated into chasing their own tail for at least an hour, maybe more.
Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
New problem in Pensacola. This is what appears to be a pickup truck that almost looks like it went into the guardrail backwards. It's blocking the right lane on the ramp that goes from northbound I-110 to I-10. A fire unit is just pulling up on the scene, and again, they're blocking the right lane on the ramp, but the ramp is passable, at least for the time being. There are a lot of high water situations in Santa Rosa County this morning. Johnson Road, Chantilly Road at Highway 90, parts of Munson Highway, and various locations on Highway 90, all with very high water. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Compassion International. Every child is born with talents, hopes, and dreams, but poverty will steal those dreams. You can help a child find hope when you become their sponsor with Compassion International. Give a child a chance to dream again. Find out how at compassion.com/radio.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Happy Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the work week. We are going to have more downpours today, about a 50-50 chance that your neighborhood will get a good soaking. Our high today, 87. Very tropical at night with a low of 74, and then a 40% chance of rain as we head into Saturday, 30% by Sunday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
You're home for Rush every weekday at 11. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. I'm not going to talk about the president's Twitter a lot. But there's one more thing I do want to mention. I just want to get it off my chest. There's not a talk show I can call into. So this is what I would say if I were a caller. I noticed that when I watched CNN, and again, when I watched them last night, the CNN people, they had a panel of people that it seemed like a dog chasing its tail is what it was like, with their discussion of should the president tweet what he had tweeted and what does it mean, and is he a misogynist, and if women are equal to men, does the misogyny exist? If a man gets into a conflict with a woman, it was just really dog chasing its tail. Nothing, just a big waste. But what I would call in about to the talk show, if I were the caller, and who knows, maybe one day I'll be the caller again. I kept hearing arguments about this is not presidential. When the president insults a lady, that's not presidential. He said that this person was bleeding from a facelift. That's not presidential. When you hear that, understand that that's not really, that's kind of a moot point, because whether we like it or not, and a lot of us don't like it, but whether we like it or not, when a president does something, that is presidential by definition. When a president does something, it's something a president does that makes it presidential. Even if we don't like it, it's suddenly presidential. For example, some people may have been upset when President Obama ran around in dad jeans. CNN did a big story this week about President Obama wearing jeans. Do you remember that? President Obama wore jeans on his vacation, and CNN did a big investigative report about his jeans, and they showed the history of his jeans. And some people may say, that's not presidential to wear jeans like a dad would wear. Well, yes, it is presidential because he did it. You may not like it. LBJ, didn't he pick up his dogs by their ears? Or by the skin of their neck or something? LBJ held up a dog and people were upset. The way LBJ, that's not presidential to hold a dog by his ears. Well, he did it, so that makes it presidential. Now, you may want to argue that you don't like that it's presidential now, that you wished it weren't, but it is. If a president does something, then that is presidential, even if we don't like it. So again, that when you tune in to those discussions and people are arguing about that, you might want to, there are other channels. I mean, HGTV, somebody's figured out that if you put the pillow over here, the room looks bigger. The room looks bigger if you put the pillow over here. All right, other topic. We have other things to get to. Let's get to other things. And we will as the show moves forward. The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM The Jag. this is Uncle Henry. I want to tell you about Dr. Thomas Bender and Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. We love living on the Gulf Coast. And welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show on Facebook. This is just me and you, the Facebook viewer, and also the YouTube person. If there, who knows if there's a YouTube person. Good morning to Roger Bird, Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com, Tammy Cook. Her last name is Cook, and she has cooked. Justin Mosier, and also Leanna. By the way, Leanna that works at WKRG in the graphics department, she photoshopped terrible things about me yesterday, and I want you to know that she texted me apologies yesterday. She was really apologetic. Now on Facebook, she's very aggressive and hostile, but then she'll apologize. It's very Jekyll and Hyde-ish. Very Jekyll and Hyde-ish. Bama Big Man, good morning to Bama Big Man. All right, let's see. The newspaper, we can't do a Dear Ariel yet. I might look online to see if there are other Dear Abby letters, because the one today is too sad, Ariel. It's just too sad. It would be a big downer. It's too, yeah. But the newspaper is here. Oh, there's a head. Here's a story that they threw the newspaper at our building. The slow, secret death of the electric guitar and why you should care. The slow, secret death of the electric guitar. Now, I don't care. I don't care. Nobody cared about the accordion. Why has the accordion not getting this kind of the accordion? It's hard to find somebody that's proficient on an accordion. Ukulele. There's a lot of instruments that are not shown the same level of respect. And so, no, I'm not even going to read this about the electric guitar, that there's something going wrong with electric guitars. I'm not even going to read it. Let's see what else. All right. All right, I've just read all I need to read. That's called skimming. All right, we're going to be back on the radio here in less than 2 minutes. Let's listen to traffic and weather before we go back to radio.
So this is a journey of finding out who the people are who write the songs. You can listen to this podcast for free right now by searching for And the Writer Is on iHeartRadio.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Kia Traffic Center.
New problem in Pensacola. This is what appears to be a pickup truck that almost looks like it went into the guardrail backwards. It's blocking the right lane on the ramp that goes from northbound I-110 to I-10. A fire unit is just pulling up on the scene, and again, they're blocking the right lane on the ramp, but the ramp is passable, at least for the time being. There are a lot of high water situations in Santa Rosa County this morning. Johnson Road, Chantilly Road at Highway 90, parts of Munson Highway, and various locations on Highway 90, all with very high water. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Southern Cancer Center. Weather Center.
TGIF, everybody. We've got about a 50-50 shot of wet weather as we kick off this holiday weekend. High temperatures will top out in the upper 80s. A 40% chance of showers Saturday, 30% by Sunday. And then when we look ahead to the 4th of July on Tuesday, our temperatures are going to get bumped up into the low 90s with a 30% chance of wet weather. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have news headlines coming up in about 10 minutes. The Daily Reagan in about 15 minutes. Independence Day weekend approaches. Be very careful if you're using fireworks. I know that fireworks are very exciting. And as somebody raised in Alabama, I was born here. I was raised here. When I was a child, we didn't have a lot of money, and mostly I played with dirt in clod form. I didn't play with like soil, just loose soil much. Every now and again I did, but I liked playing with dirt clods. Clumps and clods of dirt that could be thrown at other children, which was a wonderful thing to do, because if you couldn't afford fireworks, when the dirt clod would hit someone or something, then the exploding dirt would look like an explosion. And it was a lot of fun to throw the dirt clods. And we also played with sticks and pine cones. These were the things we played with. And I bring that up because fireworks were such an excitement as a child. Whenever our family could afford the fireworks, maybe when we decided that we would not have, instead of buying a loaf of bread or milk, we would instead put our money toward fireworks, that it was just so much fun, because the entertainment you get from blowing things up. We would never just pop a firecracker for the sound. It was, you wanted to blow something up. You wanted it to blow something up. So just fun, great. It's just all American great fun. So if you are enjoying your fireworks, please follow the law. I know that in my neighborhood, the law is not followed, that I hear fireworks. Even though it's not supposed to be legal, it sounds like our country has gone into some type of shooting war in my neighborhood, that there's some type of various factions attacking each other. And it also, but be careful, obey the law, be careful. You don't want to end up in an emergency room over the Independence Day weekend. I've interviewed doctors through my career, and they say, oh yes, people do end up in the emergency room. And one of the injuries you don't want is the eyeball injury. Be very careful with that. You think of your fingers. You don't want to lose a finger. And yes, we could use all of our fingers. Eyeballs are even more important. So just be careful. Be careful. Also, think about your pets, because a lot of dogs are upset by fireworks. In fact, Mary Booth and I, Mary Booth does talk to me from time to time, and she works on Mix 99.9, and she and I interviewed Janine Woods of the SPCA yesterday for a public affairs show. We're going to have this public affairs show on our radio stations for the weekend. You'll be able to hear it Sunday morning on News Radio 710 WNTM at 7 o'clock in the morning if you're awake and have interest. And we asked her about the SPCA, but she told us that after the 4th of July, after Independence Day, she's swamped with phone calls because so many dogs run away that fireworks cause lots of lost dogs. I want to share with you, this is a little bit of our conversation, Mary Booth and I, with Janine Woods, talking about fireworks and dogs.
They are absolutely beautiful, but I really wish people would refrain from doing them in the neighborhoods. They are absolutely terrifying for animals, for most animals. This is the time of the year when most animals are lost because they are scared to death of fireworks and they start running and they don't stop running. come Wednesday morning when we start answering our phones, we will probably have anywhere from 25 to 30 calls from people that have lost dogs or cats because of fireworks.
Wow.
So what I just tell people all the time, if you have a dog or cat that's just the slightest bit nervous, put them in the house, turn on your television, turn it up loud, turn on your radio, have fans going, any amount of noise that you can have in the background to drown out the fireworks and the firecrackers. Go ahead and get that done. For us, the radio, the television is so loud at my house on days of fireworks that I'm practically deaf, but my dog Frida is scared of them. Now, thunder shirts work really well for some dogs. If you don't have a thunder shirt, you can take a t-shirt. Literally take one of your old t-shirts, put it on your dogs, wrap it as tight as possible, and then tie it, and that for some reason gives them some sense of security, and it really does work very well for some dogs. So I don't know how that would work for cats, but I think if you
put a t-shirt on a cat,
that's right. If you put the cat, in some place where they can hide, open up a closet door, anything that they can do that they can hide from them. But your best defense is before the fireworks start at night. Take your dog for a nice walk, play with them, wear them out, get them tired. If you have to give them Benadryl, talk to your vet. I have to give my dog a little Benadryl. It makes her sleepy. So sleepy is better than terrified. And so just be aware of that. But whatever you do, please remember, do not put your dog out in the backyard if they're scared of fireworks, because they will go over a fence. And if you don't think your dog can go over a fence, you are sadly mistaken. They can go over a fence if they're scared enough. And if they start running, they're not going to run to the end of the block.
My dog, I'm very blessed. My dog is apathetic. My dog could care less about the world around it. All right, there's more to come. News, traffic, weather, and the Daily Reagan are next.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stock index futures are higher, indicating a higher Wall Street open on this final day of the month and the quarter. Crude oil is up 0.6% at $45.19 a barrel. Shares of Nike are jumping higher in pre-market trading. The company delivered an upbeat forecast and also announced plans to create a closer relationship with shoppers, a move that will let Amazon and Instagram users.
All right, here we are on Facebook, The Uncle Henry Show on Facebook. For the Facebook viewer, and what a wonderful thing it is to be here with you. Let's see, Bama Big Man, Roger Bird, Scotty White, Mickey, Tammy. It's wonderful to see you all there on Facebook. Let's talk to Michael. Hello, Michael. Good morning.
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Brother, I'm fine. What's going on, Michael?
Well, I was going to ask you a question, my friend. I think it was last year, you and I were having this conversation about the news media and being held accountable and stuff like that.
Yes.
I just recently, my friend, I've not been able to stay in contact with news because of work. I was able to see some excerpts from the White House press briefing, and I don't know that lady's name, but she was talking about, going and looking at the video that was allegedly made for or by some people at CNN or people that did not work there. Anyway, I got a chance to look at it, and I'm going, wow. I think this is something that the American people have been praying about all across the country. And myself personally, I'm glad to see that because, Uncle Henry, some of us only watch certain news outlets. You're one of the ones that I listen to as much as I possibly can because I feel like you're honest in your views. But I was so thankful to see that now people are going to be held accountable for things that are not true. Hello?
Oh, Michael. Yes. The press briefings. Now you enjoyed it. They give me high blood pressure. That's not a joke. It's not a joke, Michael. I can't stand watching that stuff. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. The adversarial relationship, and maybe we need an adversarial relationship in some form, but still, it just drives me nuts, Michael, to see the press briefings. I'd rather read about it later than actually watch it.
But Uncle Henry, I personally think people need to take some of your cues. I mean, I've listened to you for many years, and I'm just being very honest in what I'm about to say. You always look at all the facts. You try to get people to, search into these things before you actually take it for the gospel. There are some people out there, Uncle Henry, that will say, well, it's got to be true because the news said it. Well, you need to be real careful. And you said this down through the years that I've been listening to you. So I want to thank you.
What did I
for
say?
being honest.
What did I say?
You said, quote unquote, people need to check into these news reports before you take it as the gospel.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm pleased that you remember these things that I said, and I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, thank you, Michael, for your phone call. I've paid so much attention to the news over the last 15 years. I'm now looking for a way to get in a bubble, not a real bubble, because I want to have freedom of movement physically, but kind of a bubble where I don't have to see the press briefing. I want to be in a bubble. All right, but I can't really be in one yet. But one day, if they ever throw me off the air, I'm heading into that bubble. Not a real bubble, but you know what I mean. I'm going to be in that bubble. I'll feel like I have earned the right to go into the bubble. And I'll get all my news from probably Kathy Lee Gifford and Hoda, because they seem to really have a good time. They enjoyed their lives. All right, let's see what else. Ariel, have you ever watched Kathy Lee and Hoda? They have fun. They have fun. All right, we're going to be back on the radio here after a while. Oh, I need to get the Daily Reagan ready because we do the Daily Reagan a bit earlier now on the program. So let me get that ready. Let's see, where are we? Okay, bear with me. I'll be playing one of my favorite Daily Reagans of all time. It's the Independence Day clip, so I'll be playing that one. Let's see, I like it so much, I'm going to play it twice so I can program my mind with it. All right, let's see. All right, we're ready to go. All right, let's see. And I see that once again Leanna is watching video. Leanna that works for WKRG in the graphics department. And even though she's very aggressive and disrespectful to me on Facebook to try to get your attention, she did text me yesterday a massive apology, saying that she was so sorry for the things she had done on Facebook. And so even though I know that her pride will not allow her to admit this on Facebook, I do appreciate the apology. Apology accepted, Leanna, for the horrible things that you did yesterday on Facebook. It's terrible when it's beneath the dignity of your office, Leanna. The things you were doing. Since people like to say that about different positions, even though when I think you're in the office, I guess you kind of determine the dignity of the office, whether we like it or not. Leanna, when you Photoshop me, it is beneath the dignity of your office. All right, we're going to go back to radio here in about 30 seconds with the Daily Reagan, so please stand by. Uncle Henry Show continues.
Better than one.
Hey, thanks for checking out this preview of our brand new podcast from Mike.com. I'm Antonia Cerejido.
And I'm Chris Duffy. We'll be your hosts on a voyage into the sometimes scary waters of business, finance, and money matters that we're calling The Payoff.
The idea for this show is that we're regular-ish people who, maybe like you, wish we knew more about money and were better at saving it, keeping it, and earning more of it.
So each episode, we're going to explore the best ways to do all of that. Dollars have never made so much sense.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. We've arrived at the Daily Reagan. The Daily Reagan is a presentation of SAD Healthcare. That's spelled with 2 A's, SAAD. SADhealthcare.com. This is one of my favorite. If I had a top 5 Daily Reagan clips, this is in the top 5. Probably top 3. Well, I don't know. Top 5. And it's one that I've played for years. You've heard it before. I've played it over and over and over again because I love it so much. So for Independence Day weekend, here is the Daily Reagan, one of my top 5 favorite Daily Reagans.
We don't celebrate Dependence Day on the 4th of July. We celebrate Independence Day. We celebrate the right of each individual to be recognized as unique, possessed of dignity and the sacred right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
All right, look. I need to hear a little bit of that again. Bear with me. Instant replay. I just need to hear the beginning of it again because I enjoyed so much.
We don't celebrate Dependence Day on the 4th of July. We celebrate Independence Day.
The Daily Reagan, a presentation of SAD Healthcare, SAAD, SADhealthcare.com. I wonder if there ever will be a Dependence Day, since he brought it up. Will we get to that point where we have Dependence Day? And we're very excited about it. We go out and we rally about it. Somebody gives a great speech about the invention of Medicaid or something. Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM. The Jag, traffic and weather together coming up in just a moment here on the Uncle Henry Show as we head into the Independence Day weekend. The traffic, AAA is claiming, forecasting, predicting record-breaking travel in the United States of America due to low gas prices and itchiness. Americans are itching to go somewhere. So keep that in mind. I would introduce you to the Cochran-Africatown Bridge. If you are unaware of the Cochran-Africatown Bridge, it could be your big friend this weekend if you need to go somewhere westward. I mean, not westward, eastward, if you're heading eastward from west. I'm already scoping that out myself. So Cochran-Africatown Bridge. Speaking of traffic, we're going to dive right into it here. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the nines, and then we're back with more Uncle Henry Show.
Time saver traffic from the Dean McCrary Volkswagen Traffic Center.
The rain gauge at Pensacola Airport is reporting almost 3 times the normal rain amount for June, and the latest round of heavy thunderstorms came through last night and overnight this morning, and because of that, we're still seeing a lot of standing water in Santa Rosa County along Johnson Road, Munson Highway, South Airport, parts of Highway 90. Some of these areas do have barricades in the roadway, some do not, but all have very high water bordering on impassable. I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Unbound.org. When you sponsor through Unbound, you not only open the door to education for a young person, you empower a family to build a foundation of financial stability, empowerment, and respect. See your contribution grow into opportunity at unbound.org.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Southern Cancer Center. Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the work week. We are going to have more downpours today, about a 50-50 chance that your neighborhood will get a good soaking. Our high today, 87. Very tropical at night with a low of 74, and then a 40% chance of rain as we head into Saturday, 30% by Sunday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
When Marlon Shirley was 5, he lost his foot. Today, as the world's fastest amputee, he runs the 100 meters in less time than it takes to listen to this. Overcome it. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life.
Roll Tide. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Weekend, do what you want to do. Weekend, when your working day is through. Weekend. Angelo is with us from MobileBayCoins.com. Angelo, I know that you enjoy the beaches. You often visit the beaches. You often tell me stories of your nature trails, riding bicycles on nature trails, seeing snakes, fighting fires, just doing all kind of things down at the Gulf. Now, is this a time of year, because the traffic gets pretty ferocious. Do you get down in all that traffic and go to the beach this time of year?
So I tend to avoid all the major beach holidays. I tend to stay as far away from there as I possibly can.
Wow, okay, so this is not, you know what it's like, so you stay out of it.
Exactly. Probably going to just do something, low-key and laid back at the house for the 4th of July, and I'm not going to get anywhere near that Bayway or that causeway.
Yeah, this is, when I saw the news, Angelo, of MobileBayCoins.com about the record-setting travel expected, it made me remember, it was 2 or 3 weekends ago that I needed to go to somewhere on the causeway at like noon, and traffic in downtown Mobile on a Saturday was backed up to Broad Street noon Saturday. People trying to squeeze through the Bankhead Tunnel.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing to me. And I've got to say that during the summer, that's one reason that the shop does really well, is we're far enough away from Broad Street and all that drama that folks can come over here to the shop, check things out. And even if they live, in Midtown or downtown, there's alternate ways for them to get home where they can come down to the shop, check out some coins, check out some of the cool jewelry, and then zip back home without having to deal with any of that darn traffic.
All right, let's talk about the hours of Mobile Bay Coins, because I know that you, as hard a worker as you are, you also value the time of recreation. So you're open today, regular business hours today?
Yes, sir. Today, 9 to 5, tomorrow, 9 till about 2 o'clock. And again, if it gets really slow in the afternoon and it's getting close to 2, it might not hurt to call and make sure we're still going to be here. Closed Sunday, back open Monday.
Back open Monday?
Well, Uncle
that's
Henry,
against you're going against the grain.
Well, I'm going against the governor here. She'd rather give everybody just paid days off to sit around and do nothing. Gosh knows that I wish I could afford to do that, but we have a business we want to keep going strong here. So we will be here Monday, 9 to 5. Tuesday, we will be closed, but I wanted to let everybody know that Wednesday, I will be heading out to one of the biggest coin shows of the year down in Florida. So anybody looking to get that particular special coin or even a special piece of jewelry, come by the shop this weekend or Monday and talk to us, because I'm going to be doing a road trip Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll be doing a lot of shopping for our customers.
All right, well, Angelo, I hope you have a magnificent weekend.
You too, sir.
MobileBayCoins.com. Angelo, he's figured it all out. In fact, he can give you advice on coins, bullion, precious metals, jewelry, knives, and maybe even your travel plans, because he's already figured out how to handle all this beach traffic. MobileBayCoins.com. Look for Mobile Bay Coins on Facebook, and they're at 2204 Government Street. Go in there and just enjoy the camaraderie. All right, there's more to come. The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM and 99.5 FM The Jag.
While they were watching,
Obama spying on Americans.
You were listening. Keep on listening.
It's so sick.
Sean Hannity, 2 till 5. News Radio 710, WNTM.
Take care of your skin. See Dr. Thomas Bender at Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center. Dr. Bender sees patients in Mobile, Daphne, and Bay Minette. Find out more online at advanceddermclinic.com.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. And it's about to get worse. The IRS just hired an army of new tax enforcers. So, if you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. Optima has access to a special IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands, even tens of thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop that army of new enforcers from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A-rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $500 million of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. Call now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If you want a good night's sleep, you need a great mattress, and you'll find better mattresses at lower prices at Sleep Center in Mobile and on the Eastern Shore. Listen to these Independence Day money-saving deals. Sealy has their Any Size event. Buy a mattress set, and you get any size at one low price. For example, the Sealy Plush. You can get that in any size, twin, full, queen, etc., at $199 each piece. And that's not all. You can save 10% on select Stearns & Foster mattresses with a free box spring and save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic's Tempur-Breeze sets. Incredible mattresses, the Tempur-Pedics. And ask about the terrific financing available at Sleep Center. Sleep Center in Mobile, in McGowan Park next to Verizon Wireless, and on Airport Boulevard in the Estroke Shopping Center, and on the Eastern Shore in the Eastern Shore Center where Shoe Station used to be. You'll look at... All right, here we are. Okay, I found a duck sound effect. Yes, I needed a duck sound effect. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So we'll get to that later. Why do I need a duck sound effect? We'll get to that later on in the Uncle Henry Show. All right, thank you for watching on Facebook. We're going to be back on the radio in about 2 minutes with more Uncle Henry Show. What to mention that I haven't mentioned? There's a story, I don't know how to talk about it because I don't know that I understand it fully yet, but we've talked about the changes in the grocery industry where people are going to be buying. Well, Amazon bought Whole Foods. So, and Publix has announced they're going to do same-day delivery by 2020 from all their stores. So there's going to be more and more groceries being delivered to you rather than you going to the grocery store. And I saw a story that there's some vehicle that's going to go into neighborhoods, I guess like an ice cream truck or an back in the old days, way back, I guess 100 years ago, people would take wagons and early motor vehicles and go through neighborhoods and sell things off the back of trucks. But there's going to be some vehicle that goes through neighborhoods and it'll be a holographic grocery store. I don't understand how that works, that you're going to look at 3D, you'll go out into the street and look at a 3D image of food and order it. I don't know how that works. But See, that's why I'm not mentioning it on the radio, just on Facebook. I can't figure it out. All right, stand by. We go back to radio.
Today, our temperatures are going to get bumped up into the low 90s with a 30% chance of wet weather. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
Your home for traffic and weather on the 9s every morning. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. News headlines coming up from Fox and from Local 15. Thinking a lot about traffic today because we're heading into this weekend that's allegedly going to be the most traveled 4th of July Independence Day weekend of all time. And I saw the story, you may have already heard this story too, about how scientists in South Korea, some university in Seoul, South Korea, researchers think that the car horn should be abolished, that the sound of the car horn is bad, that it's too stressful for human beings to hear a car horn, and they took a bunch of sounds and tested them on people, and they think that the car horn sound should be replaced by a duck quack. This is not, yeah, you say, oh, this is a joke. This is not a joke. The lead researcher, Professor Myung-Jin Bae, said, quote, in our study, we used the existing historic klaxon sound source, but we made some modifications concerning its volume and rhythm with duration time, and our new klaxon sound sounds like a duck. The quacking horn still does its job of alerting people to danger, but it does it without being irritating. They tested over 100 sounds and found that the duck horn, the quacking duck noise, was the top best sound to be used. Now, I don't know, yes, this requires a duck. I don't agree with if there's about to be a car wreck or somebody is about to be run over by a car, I think that I need to be stressed out. Don't you? Don't you need to be stressed out? Danger, aren't we biologically designed to react a certain way to danger? And we don't need to disconnect that. If somebody's about to be run over or hit or something in a car or a truck, we want to not only get attention, you better be stressed out so you can react the way biologically you've been wired to react. You don't want to disconnect that and somehow have, if a car is about to run me over, let's say I'm walking out into the streets of the city of Mobile, and I'm thinking about things that I think about, like fried chicken. So I'm out there and I'm thinking about fried chicken. I'm in the middle of the street, and I'm hearing some duck. I'm not going to think, oh, you know what? I need to get out of the way. I'm about to be killed. I'm going to think, I wonder where the duck is. Is there a pond nearby? And then I'm going to be flattened. I'm going to be killed. So no, it needs to sound like an air raid siren. Well, anyway, the duck sound is what you're being told that you need as a car horn. Let's talk to Reagan Girl. Hello, Reagan Girl. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Henry. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, roll!
Well, I was just going to say very quickly, first of all, if they change the sound of car horns, that's totally going to take away the ambiance of being in Times Square. If they take away car horns, I mean the ambiance of Times Square is all of the horns.
Well, I don't think our country is silly enough to replace our car horns with duck quacks. Maybe on some of the electric cars, but not the kind of cars you and I are driving. Now, you also called about President Trump's tweets. Were you upset? Did you cry when you saw that he said that somebody had a facelift?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I absolutely loved it.
You loved it?
Yes, sir.
But he's a big, burly, masculine male savagely attacking this poor, pitiful woman. This poor, pitiful woman.
Well, the thing about Trump is he is not a politician. He is not in the establishment. And they said some ungodly things about him, horrible things about him. He is being attacked like no other politician that I have seen before. And if you hit him, he's going to hit you back twice as hard. And the press is just attacking him like I've never seen, and he is not of the establishment, and I support him 100% for jabbing them back the way that they need to be. So that was just my thoughts, Uncle Henry, and Ariel has a message for you a little bit later. So.
Oh, really?
Take care.
All right. Well,
yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you very much. A mystery message for me later. And that's I'm sure it's positive. I'm at an age where I do not like surprises. I do not like. When I was a young man, I didn't like them either. I like them less the older I get. All right. Well, thank you for calling in and letting us know that you were not psychologically traumatized by the Trump tweets. I did see the ladies on CNN last night that were just, oh my goodness, they were so mad. And there was a man on CNN. The whole reason he was there was so that women could say that they were disappointed in him and in men. There's more still. Yeah, there's even more show to come. I know it seems like we've done enough. Still more show to come. After news, traffic, weather, all of that. Uncle Henry Show.
If you're a CPAP user, soap and water cleaning may leave harmful bacteria, viruses, and mold that can make you sick. That alone will keep you up at night. Until now, SoClean.com is the world's first and only automated, hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. SoClean kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs without soap, water, harsh chemicals, or even equipment disassembly. And now, you can try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-224-8181.
SoClean changed the CPAP experience for the better. My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean's revolutionary design makes it easy to clean your CPAP and protect you against CPAP-related illnesses. Plus, SoClean works with all popular CPAP devices to clean them in minutes. It really is that easy. Don't risk your health. Call SoClean.com now to try it risk-free for 30 days. Call 1-800-224-8181. This offer won't last. Call now. 800-224-8181. 800-224-8181.
Here with Ron of Mobile Bay Coins. Ron, if I'm going to sell a coin or jewelry, what's the best piece of advice you can give me?
Would be shop it around, get multiple offers, make sure you get the most for your item, for your buck. Same thing when you're buying, shop around what people are selling that item for, whether it's gold, silver, estate jewelry items. Make sure you're not paying too much for an item. The thing that sickens me the most is when an estate comes in and we find out that somebody paid sometimes 100 times too much what they could have got the same item for, or they were sold items with great packaging and great boxes, but the items contained therein were worth almost nothing. So shop it around, Be smart about it and come by Mobile Bay Coins. We can make recommendations based on the items you have, your avenues available to you.
So if I understand you correctly, the best piece of advice is shop it around.
Shop it around.
Shop it around. Mobile Bay Coins, 2204 Government Street in Midtown Mobile. Look for them on Facebook. You'll also find them online at mobilebaycoins.com.
Your home for Uncle Henry every morning at 5. News Radio 710 WNTM Mobile, an iHeart radio station. 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. 710 Time Saver Traffic from the Dean McCrary Porsche Traffic Center.
We're still looking at an accident on the ramp from northbound I-110 to I-10 in Pensacola. Right lane on the ramp is blocked, but the left lane is passable. There are a lot of road closures in Santa Rosa County this morning due to the latest round of flooding rain hit the area, including the south side of Airport Road, West Spencer Field at Highway 90, Avalon Boulevard's northbound lane at I-10 closed, as well as some issues with the on-ramps there. So expect that throughout the course of the day. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Southern Cancer Center. Weather Center.
TGIF, everybody, your torrential potential today at 50%. High temperatures will top in the upper 80s. For your Saturday, a 40% chance of wet weather, 30% by Sunday. And then when we look ahead to the 4th of July on Tuesday, we're going to see some highs in the 90s with a 30% chance of storms. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeart radio station.
It's personal. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News. Mika Brzezinski and Joe Scarborough on MSNBC reacting to President Trump's tweet attacks.
The guy that's in the White House now is not the guy we knew 2 years ago.
And then Mika Brzezinski added this morning as they react to what happened yesterday with the president's tweets.
He appears to have a fragile, impetuous, childlike ego.
Fox's John Decker's live at the White House.
Counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, on Fox and Friends, said she supports President Trump's right to fight back, but she stopped short of saying whether she stands by his attacks on Twitter against MSNBC's Mika Brzezinski.
Well, the president is able, he's the one who controls his social media platform. He reaches 100 million people, as I understand it, through these various social media platforms, he tells me.
First Lady Melania Trump is standing by her husband's tweets, saying in a statement that when her husband gets attacked, he will punch back 10 times harder. Dave?
John, the president fired off more tweets this morning. One's about Chicago, where Fox's Jeff Manasso is live.
Dave, at least 20 federal agents are reportedly joining some 40 others here to help fight drugs, guns, and violence. The president in a tweet saying in part that crime and killings have reached epidemic proportions, 1,714 shootings this year.
The police have been demoralized in many ways. They're not feeling good. The policies in Chicago have not been working.
That's U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Fox and Friends. Dave, there's been 64 shootings with 13 killings here since just Sunday.
Jeff, the president's travel ban's in effect for 6 mostly Muslim countries seen as terror threats, but anyone with business or education or certain family ties can still come here. Hawaii sued last night because grandparents and aunts and uncles are not considered close relatives in the State Department rules. A tweak last night did add fiancés to the list. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
A deadly and violent week along the Gulf Coast. Good morning. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton with your iHeart Radio News Update. There's been a spate of serious crimes this week, but probably the hardest hit community has been Pritchard. 4 shootings in 24 hours, including the murder of an apartment complex security guard. The violence has apartment resident Michael Evans calling for the violence to stop.
Lose his life for 8 hours, an hour, or whatever the security guards making nowadays, and it's ridiculous.
At this time, no arrests have been made in the fatal shooting of that security guard at Ridge Manor Apartment. Today, the Gulf Coast is getting a big announcement from Foley's new amusement and entertainment destination, OWA. Later this afternoon, we expect to learn when the Porch Bandit Creek Indians plans to open the venue and how much it'll cost for you and your family to go. Meanwhile, the park is rolling out exclusive video of their centerpiece attraction, the Rollin' Thunder roller coaster, and you can see that video at local15tv.com. U.S. gas prices are at their lowest in 12 years. Gas is under $2 a gallon in many parts of the the country. AAA is Alabama's average price at $1.96 and Mobile's average at $2.02. But we've seen prices on the Gulf Coast here well under $2. News breaks while you sleep, so when you wake, we'll catch you up on what's happening along the Gulf Coast and around the world every weekday morning on Local 15 Today. We start at 5 a.m. I'm Local 15's Darwin Singleton for this iHeart radio station.
The music.
Music. Take the vocals of Steven Tyler. Add the guitar of Keith Richards. Stir in the drums of Neil Peart. Serving up steaming hot classic rock. 96.1. Yeah! The Rocket.
To the Mercedes-Benz of Mobile Studios. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you so much for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. Yes, my microphone is turned on. The Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM, The Jag. Another hour of show and a new tweet. The president, and again, thank you to the president for tweeting during my show so that I do not have to think. I don't have to really do anything except read his tweets. It's a wonderful, it saves me the labor of actually coming up with my own thoughts. The president, now get this. Now you remember yesterday, unless you've got some type of disorder that prevents it, you remember yesterday with all of this talk about his savage attack. The savage attack on Mika on the Morning Joe show on MSNBC. Well, this morning, just a few minutes ago, President Trump tweeted about Morning Joe again. He's trolling this show. Now listen to this tweet. Watched low-rated Morning Joe for the first time in a long time. Fake news. He called me to stop a National Enquirer article. I said no. Bad show. So he's trolling Morning Joe again today. Now, when I see this, they've got to like this. They've got to like this at Morning Joe. Now, I know you're saying nobody likes to be attacked and talk about their facelift getting bloody or anything like that. They've got to like this. They must be thrilled that he's tweeting about them being fake news and all this, because now it gives, why would anybody else tune into it? A lot of us would never look at this show, but we might now because the president's tweeting about them. They must be thrilled. And this kind of, and yes, you're probably wondering why I would say they must be thrilled. No, they must. This is creating a reason for people to watch this show. So it may make Mika uncomfortable or Joe himself uncomfortable. I tell you what, the bosses there are the people that are running that show must be popping champagne bottles today. Now, this is kind of getting into the realm of the Vince McMahon stuff. This was pointed out to me yesterday by somebody about Donald Trump and his connection to WWE. This is very WWE-ish. It was Johnny Gwynn that pointed out the WWE thing a few days ago. This is very WWE, this tweet about Morning Joe. They must be so happy today they're being tweeted about.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Today is the last day of June, and for a lot of us, it's good riddance. The rain gauge at the Pensacola Airport recorded more than 20 inches of rain this month. That is more than 3 times the normal amount for June. And the latest round pushed through the area last night. We have a number of street closures in Santa Rosa County this morning because of this. Highway 90 between Dogwood and Glover has high water. Commerce at Avalanche, Chantilly Way flooded, and a speed bump washed away just north of 90, to name just a few. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Kemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the work week. We are going to have more downpours today, about a 50-50 chance that your neighborhood will get a good soaking. Our high today, 87. Very tropical at night with a low of 74, and then a 40% chance of rain as we head into Saturday, 30% by Sunday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by the T.J. Martell Foundation.
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Church, asking you to join me in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS through the T.J. Martell Foundation. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn about music's promise for a cure.
Traffic updates every 10 minutes on the 9s every morning. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We're going to talk about some fireworks fun. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll get into that. So the president has tweeted again this morning about Morning Joe. Not as personal this morning, but still calling it fake news and saying it's a bad show and that it's low rated, which, yes, it's derogatory, but I'm sure it's going to motivate some people that would never watch that show to tune in and see what the reaction is on that show. And so this is really to the advantage of that show. So they've got to be thrilled that they're being tweeted about. Now, meanwhile, do you remember Greta? She was on Fox for several years. She was I don't know that people were very excited about Greta, but she was reliable. Greta was there. She was on Fox. You would find news. Maybe if you're listening to News Radio 710 WNTM, you're aware of Greta and you watched her on Fox. And you noticed that she left maybe about a year ago or a little less than a year ago, she left. And Greta got a show, strangely, on MSNBC. And they pulled the plug on her, I think yesterday or the day before. They pulled the plug. 6 months of Greta on MSNBC, and they pulled the plug. The show was not doing as well as the other shows on MSNBC. So Greta, she was on CNN, then she was on Fox, and then she was on MSNBC. Now she's had the plug pulled on her on MSNBC. Now, just what I'm curious about is why did they think, they being MSNBC, why did they think they should get somebody from Fox and put them on MSNBC? Does that make any sense to you? How could it possibly do good on MSNBC? MSNBC is the opposite of Fox. Why would you get a Fox person and put them on your channel? That just made maybe they just realized it after 6 months. Hey, maybe you know what? Maybe the people that watch our channel don't want this. So Greta's now a free agent. And where she'll end up, I don't know. There are a lot of TV channels, so there's no telling where she might end up. She probably does want to stay in television, so you'll be able to find her. I don't know if it'll be HGTV, Megyn Kelly could probably use her help on the Megyn Kelly Show. By the way, the Megyn Kelly Show, after it got its lowest ratings ever, they decided to give it a little rest, so it's not going to be on for a little while. They're going to give it a little, it was 4 episodes. They're going to give it a rest. And then try again in the future. Those are, by the way, when I'm off for the Independence Day weekend, I will not be watching any of those channels. I'm going to actually go on YouTube to try and find more of the Progressive Liberal Wrestler and watch the Progressive Liberal Wrestler. All right, coming up on the Uncle Henry Show, we're going to talk a little bit about fireworks, celebrations, things going on along the Gulf Coast for Independence Day.
If you're ready for a security system, call TSI Alarms and Audio. They offer short-term agreements and low monitoring rates. Call 251-662-0500 or visit online at thetsigroup.com. Uncle Henry here. You've probably heard me talk about SAD Healthcare on the radio for years now. Well, right now I want to call your attention to something specific that SAD Healthcare offers families, something called SAD Family Care. SAD Family Care is private duty nursing that you can arrange for your loved one.
Hello, Facebook. For those of you watching on Facebook, I'm trying to do my show, but Leanna, former employee Leanna, just keeps messaging me. She's desperate to be on the radio. She wants to be on so bad. She just keeps messaging me, wanting to be on the radio. She's just craving attention. If you know her, would you give her some attention, please? All right, let's see. Stand by. I need to let her know. She's desperate. There she is again. Let me send a message to her. Stand by. All right. She just, well, anyway, let's move beyond that. She's just craving some type of. Send her a private message telling her that you appreciate her. All right. Coming up, we're going to get into celebrations of the 4th of July, Independence Day, et cetera, et cetera. My plans, I know you didn't ask, but I'm when I say that I'm going to watch the Progressive Liberal Wrestler, I am. Scotty White of ScottyWhite.com sent that to me and Johnny Gwynn and other people last week. There's a YouTube video that's about 30 minutes of the wrestler and his gimmick. If you didn't hear us talk about it earlier on the show, his gimmick is that he is a progressive liberal trying to reprogram the people watching the wrestling, and he wants to convert them to his liberalism. And I haven't had time this week to watch all 30 minutes of it, but I'm definitely going to watch it, probably tonight. I want to start my weekend the right way. Oh, let's see, by the way, I'll have another message, not from Leanna, but from Reagan Girl. Reagan Girl has sent a clip in. Oh, and I see that Ariel, would you mind grabbing the hotline? We do have somebody there. Let's listen to this. This was sent in by Reagan Girl.
Hey, Uncle Henry, it's Reagan Girl. I meant to call you back, but I saw that you had the America's Junior Misses on your radio show that week. I was going to let you know that I am off from work on the 17th. I didn't know if you had any guests planned at that time. Just let me
Okay, so Reagan Girl wants to belly dance on the 17th. Every radio show, by the way, Chris Morgan, hang on, we're about to go on the radio here in about 1 minute with Chris Morgan to talk about explosions. But Reagan Girl, I'll have to check my calendar and see if the 17th is free for belly dancing on the radio. Every radio listener wants to imagine belly dancing. So we'll have that. All right, stand by. We're about to go to Chris Morgan to hear about fireworks.
Again, high temperatures will top out in the upper 80s, a 40% chance of showers Saturday, 30% by Sunday. And then when we look ahead to the 4th of July on Tuesday, our temperatures are going to get bumped up into the low 90s with a 30% chance of wet weather. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. You can watch on the News Radio 710 WNTM Facebook page or on the live YouTube stream. I want to welcome back to the Uncle Henry Show Chris Morgan of the Bay Bears. Chris Morgan, welcome back.
Good morning. It's been far too long, Uncle Henry.
It has been far too long, and I know what everybody keeps asking you about. I'm sure everybody you run into wants to ask you about the recent weather we've had, and all of the, because we know that your entire livelihood depends on let's not have any rain. So how's it been for the Bay Bears? You've had to do a lot of.
Yeah, I'll say this. I mean, it was a rough June. I mean, some of the guys on the coaching staff were asking me, during the month of June, we had one homestand where 3 of the 5 games were rained out. We had 1 of the 5 rained out this past homestand. We had one the previous one before that. So they said, we know it rains a lot in Mobile. That's what we've heard, but is this normal? And I said, no. I mean, this isn't even normal for Mobile. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're somewhere in the range of 10 to 11 inches above normal for this time of year. And we've just had a ton of rain. And so, yeah, I mean, our livelihood depends on whether or not we can play baseball games. And when we can't play baseball games, that's not good. So, yeah, the weather's been – it's been rough.
Hey, tell me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but tell us about, I know you got new drainage improvements, but there's no way, there's no such thing as drainage that can handle that much rain, but still.
Exactly. That's right. And the drainage, there's some issues in spots around the field where it's not perfect, and it probably should be a little better. Some of the other trouble spots that were way out in the outfield are great. I mean, you could walk around after a hard rain within an hour, and it's dry. But there's some trouble spots, and but a lot of the games that we've had to postpone were really due to rain at the time of the game or right before. And when you get hard rains like that, there's not anything you can do. I mean, the field doesn't have a lot of time to drain, and the field's been saturated, and you hit on it when you get that much rain over a period of time, that there's just not a whole lot you can do about it. The fields, they're not, even the drainage, if it's new, it's not set up to accommodate that much water in such a short period of time, and that's what we need. If we get a hard rain at 5 p.m. and we're supposed to start a game at 6:30, and that's after another hard rain we got early in the day, it's hard, but the drainage is better. Again, it's not. I don't think it's as good as we feel like it needs to be. But we'll address that at some other time. But
well, Chris Morgan, let's talk about what you've got coming up. Now, I know that you're going to have baseball on Independence Day.
That's right.
Do you have any this weekend?
No, we don't have any this weekend. We're back on the 4th, and this will be our 3rd straight year to play on the 4th, which we love. I mean, it's usually one of our biggest crowds of the season because we do one of the largest fireworks shows along the Gulf Coast. And that's not me saying that. That's a lot of people that have been to our games and have seen other fireworks shows. That's what they tell us. They tell us, hey, your fireworks show is the best around, when it comes to probably between here and Pensacola. And we love coming out, and we've had, our last 2 or 3 July 4th crowds have been over 5,000 people each time. So, we hope to have another big crowd out. If you've seen our Friday night fireworks at any point during the last couple of seasons, take that and multiply it by 2 or 3.
Yeah, let's talk about the game experience. If we come out to Hank Aaron Stadium and maybe there are a lot of people that have not done it yet. So I'm out there Tuesday night, 6:35 p.m. What have you got for us?
Well, of course, we've got a baseball game, and the team's playing well right now. So if you're really into baseball, that's a positive. We have our concessions are very affordable. I mean, you can get a combo meal for as little as $9, so that's always a good thing. You bring the family out for that. We're going to have 2-for-1 grandstand tickets on Tuesday. It's our normal Tuesday promotion. So you have a chance to save some money there. We have promotions in game throughout the game. We've got our guy plays some great music during the game, and it's a good atmosphere. It's a safe and family friendly atmosphere. It's very clean. We've done a good job with the stadium over the last couple of years. So. What we pride ourselves on is providing affordable, fun family entertainment, and that's our job here. Our job isn't baseball; it's providing another entertainment option for the folks in Mobile and the surrounding areas, and we feel like we do a good job of that.
All right, now Chris Morgan, before we run out of time, talk a little bit more specifically about the fireworks show itself, because you just said something like double or triple the normal show. How big a show is this going to be?
It's a big show. I mean, it's probably somewhere, I believe, in the range of 10 or so minutes, which that's a long show. And we've received a ton of compliments from people about our shows and about how big they are, and that's just for the Friday night show. So the July 4th show, people that have seen that show, they rave about it. And as a result, we've had some really big crowds the last few years. So if you want to see a great fireworks show, have a good time for 2 or 3 hours on Tuesday night and not spend a ton of money. This will be your place.
Very good. Well, Chris Morgan, hope you have a fantastic crowd and a great, safe Independence Day game.
Yeah, and thank you. They can call 479-2327 and purchase tickets. They can purchase online at mobilebaybears.com anytime.
Chris Morgan, thank you so much. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for the time. You too, Uncle Henry.
There he goes, Chris Morgan. If you like fireworks, it's a good show. All right, more to come. The Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM 99.5 FM The Jag. News, traffic, weather, all of that is next.
My friends, the Washington Post has discovered how unfair life in America is right in your own backyard. Washington, D.C. is prospering. Population in the district has been growing by leaps and bounds. Some neighborhoods are becoming more affluent by the day. As affluent neighborhoods grow, so do the businesses that support them, like supermarkets. New markets and upscale neighborhoods are targeting foodies with all sorts of exotic items. But over the past 10 years, while supermarkets have multiplied in rich neighborhoods, poor Washington, D.C. neighborhoods have not fared as well. The Post reports that in the poorest neighborhoods, the number of supermarkets have plummeted. A long-standing grocery gap has grown worse. How bad is it? Well, in poor neighborhoods, there are 50,000 people for every grocery store. In the rich areas, there are 10,000 people per store. The rich have more grocery options than the poor. Rich people live in neighborhoods that cater to foodies. Poor people live with food insecurities. Supermarkets in poor neighborhoods have another disadvantage. They've got to make 30% more profit than the rich competitors to offset the cost of shoplifting, security, and high staff turnover. Oh, yeah, that might explain why poor neighborhoods have fewer stores, but that's beside the point. You have to stick to the narrative, which is life in America is unfair because the rich have stolen everything the poor had. Owning land in this great country of ours, that's one of our most precious rights. And when it comes to taking care of the land you own, you want the best tools. And that's where my friends at Mahindra come in. Mahindra makes the toughest tractors on earth with real steel for more built-in weight. That translates to better traction and stability. And don't forget Mahindra's XTV utility vehicles. Whether you're taking a family fishing or hauling supplies.
And we're here on Facebook, Uncle Henry Show on Facebook. We'll be back on the radio in just a few minutes. Right now, me and you, Ariel is still here. Ariel, please join me here on Facebook. The Facebook viewer, I'm sure, will enjoy having you on with us. In fact, Ariel, earlier this morning in the 6 o'clock hour, Bill Zimfer, NBC News Radio, complimented you on your looks.
He did.
He told you, what did he say to you about your looks?
He told me that I was a very nice-looking young lady, and I told him thank you.
All right. How about that?
Yes.
How about that? A man.
No creeper level. None.
There was
while
no.
People are saying that you can't compliment women anymore. You can. You just can't say, "Hey, you're looking really good today," because that's creeper level.
You've got to have a certain finesse.
Yes.
To compliment a woman. Yes. I've never ever had finesse in anything I've ever done, so I just try to avoid trouble. I don't tell young women that I think they look nice, because I'm sure it comes out the wrong way.
You just have to say it correctly and not wear a toupee.
Well, then I guess there's no. I will continue with my policy of not saying it.
Okay.
I will continue my policy of not saying it. Now, Ariel's going to be, and we'll mention this again later when we're on the radio doing Dear Ariel. Ariel's going to be at Metro PCS today, but her radio station's doing something I find interesting. Yes. Now, I don't listen to 100.3 The Beat, thebeatofmobile.com, because I'm not really into that kind of music at my age. Mm-hmm. But I am fascinated that your radio station is going to play an entire album several times today?
Yes, several times today. In fact, every 2 hours it should play on our station, or every other hour. Really, it's every other hour, and they keep saying every 2 hours. No, it's every other hour.
So
play it at 3 and then play it at 5. It's every other hour.
So this is the new Jay-Z album.
Yes, the new Jay-Z album, 444. It came out today. Yeah, it dropped today, and exclusively on his streaming app called Tidal, and Sprint users are the only people who can get this album. Do you know when I tried to download it myself, they blocked my access?
This is I'm not. I don't know if I like Jay-Z music or not, because I don't know if I've heard it.
Right.
But I'm fascinated at the way that he's marketing his album, because it makes me wonder if we at iHeart, if we are in a financial deal with him, if he's paying us or we're paying him, or maybe he'll show up at the iHeart Music Awards, and if we do this, or there's got to be some deal.
There has to be, and if he shows up at the iHeart Radio Music Awards and I don't win a ticket this year, I'm going to be very, very disappointed in myself.
But this is really a big deal for him, because if it's happening here, it's going to be in a lot of other iHeart towns. A lot of places around the country must be doing
right.
this.
In fact, there's an article that mentions that Sprint, Tidal, and iHeart are the only people with the exclusive rights for at least 1 week to the Jay-Z album.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is. I'm glad to hear that our radio stations are doing interesting things like that, playing an entire album. I think the Rocket. There was when there was some reissue of a Beatles album where they remastered Sgt. Pepper or something on its anniversary, and I think the Rocket did the same thing, where they played the whole album a couple of times one day for people to listen to.
And like I said, the best part is you can't hear it much of anywhere, but unless you're a Sprint user, you signed up for Tidal before June 26th, or you're listening to our station.
That's good for the beat.
It's absolutely good for the beat.
Now, the Tidal, that's a music streaming service?
Correct.
How popular
Owned by
is
Jay-Z.
it? How popular is it?
I think it's pretty popular. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of people who are willing to pay for subscriptions to streaming sites. I signed up 3 different times for free, personally.
Yeah. But you don't hear it mentioned as often as Spotify, Pandora, or iHeart.
It definitely hasn't reached any of those levels yet. And it's still fairly new. I think it's about 2 or 3 years old.
Okay.
It's still fairly new, so it definitely has some ground to cover before we go. Yeah, oh my gosh, this is the biggest streaming site. Because think about it, Pandora and Spotify have been around for about 10 years now.
Long enough that they've become big brand names.
Exactly. So this is still in its infancy. So eventually it'll become a big deal, but. Especially with the fact that a lot of artists are starting to exclusively release their music on the streaming site, and before they release it to Apple or any of the other streaming sites.
Okay. All right. Well, every other hour, beginning when today?
It started at 11:59 p.m. last night.
Oh, so Jay-Z's album has been playing every other hour on 100.3 The Beat of Mobile. All right. Well, Ariel, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be checking in with her again later for a Dear Ariel. I like it when radio stations do things like that, where it's out of the ordinary and exclusive. I'm glad that they're doing stuff like that. All right, stand by. Here we go. Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We have a new edition of Dear Ariel coming up in about 15 minutes on the Uncle Henry Show. I mentioned about 30 minutes ago the president has tweeted again this morning about Morning Joe. His tweet is watched low-rated Morning Joe for the first time in a long time. Fake news. He called me to stop a National Enquirer article. I said no. Bad show. Now, combined with yesterday's tweets, this is starting to seem like WWE. Because they've got to like this. Now, yesterday's tweet, very personal attack with the facelift and all that. But this kind of stuff, this has got to be good for their ratings. I mean, people are going to watch them that would never have tuned them in before, just to see what their reaction is and to try and make some context for all this. So it makes me wonder about all of this. The fact that this just sounds almost like WWE. And you wonder if they really dislike each other as much as they're claiming they dislike each other. Let me go to the email inbox. I've got an email on the topic of this. Subject line on the email is Joe Mika versus Trump tweet-a-mania. Email reads, Uncle Henry, so now that national political discourse has become a poorly scripted WWF WWE wrestling feud, in the great tweet cage match of Joe Mika versus Trump, would Trump be the heel or the face? Now, I'll interrupt the email to explain that in wrestling terms, the face is the good guy, the heel is the bad guy. The email goes on to say, the way the fight script reads, I guess Joe Mika is the face lift, and Trump is the heel of state. Have a pleasant and stress-free 4th. Watch your 12 for falling celebratory bullets. In that email from Johnny Gwynn of johnnygwynn.com. Well, see, your mention of heel or face, it's all going to depend on your political perspective, because there are a lot of people that see the president as, because of the context of all this, that he would be the good guy, and that the media, Joe Mika or whoever else, would be the bad guy. And then other people feel the exact opposite. So it kind of fits, it's a Rorschach test of wrestling. But it does, today's tweet makes me wonder if they really dislike each other as much as they're pretending to dislike, I don't know if they're pretending or not. Maybe they do dislike each other this much. But that, ultimately, each party will be getting something out of this.
We're getting word now of what appears to be a vehicle fire on westbound I-10 at mile marker 2 in the Grand Bay area as you approach the Mississippi line. Not noting any real delay through the area there, though, at least for the moment. No big Bayway problems this morning, but that's going to change as the afternoon hours approach. It is a big holiday weekend. Lots of folks will be beach bound, and they'll be headed through the Wallace Tunnel to get there, so expect that as the afternoon hours approach. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Ray Romero.
This report is brought to you by Always Money.
Always Money.
If you're short on cash, visit Always Money Finance for loans up to $15,000. Plus, don't miss free food and giveaways this Friday only during Always Money Customer Appreciation Day. Always Money Finance, where they always find a way to help you.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Southern Cancer Center. Weather Center.
Happy Friday, everybody. We have made it to the end of the work week. We are going to have more downpours today, about a 50-50 chance that your neighborhood will get a good soaking. Our high today, 87. Very tropical at night with a low of 74, and then a 40% chance of rain as we head into Saturday, 30% by Sunday. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News in this iHeartRadio station.
This report is brought to you by Ace. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks. Stop by your neighborhood Ace today for everything you need for your painting projects, like their best paint, Valspar Optimus, and all the high-quality sundries you need to get the job done right. Only at Ace, the helpful place.
We love Nick Saban. Just wanted to get that out of the way. This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. About 10 minutes away from a new edition of Dear Ariel, where we compare the answers of Dear Abby and Dear Ariel. Independence Day weekend. City of Mobile 4th of July celebration at the Battleship with Mobile Pops playing music. Fireworks celebration at 9 o'clock. You've got the Pensacola, Sertoma 4th of July fireworks in Seville Square. Pensacola Beach has fireworks. Fairhope has their fireworks with the Baldwin Pops. Daphne has fireworks. Gulf Shores, Chickasaw. I'm not wearing a hat, but hats off to Chickasaw for stepping up for North Mobile County and having some fireworks. They even have the Hope Puppet Ministry there in Chickasaw. So if you want to be blessed with a ministry, puppetry involved in it, you've got that. So again, hats off to Chickasaw for stepping up and providing wholesome entertainment for the families of Chickasaw. Chickasaw, underrated in my opinion. It really is and many people don't consider it, but it's on my list. I've got a list of towns that if things go bad for me in Mobile, I've got a list of places that I will be relocating to, theoretically and hypothetically. Chickasaw is on the list. They've earned a spot in my bug out list of places I may need to bug out to. And there's Independence Day at the Wharf. Grand Bay Watermelon Festival is coming up this weekend. And what a wonderful thing that is, the Grand Bay Watermelon Festival. You've even got, this is important to us here because we work with a former watermelon queen. Well, I guess you're never a former watermelon queen. Once you're a watermelon queen, I believe you're always thought of as a watermelon queen. That would be Shelby Mitchell. So she works here, and so we truly feel a great affection for the Grand Bay Watermelon Festival. And they're going to have a Pretty Baby contest. And also puppets, the puppet ministry will be there. I've never been to a pretty baby contest. I'm thinking that could be fraught with potential sociological landmines because you're having to determine which baby is better looking than the other baby. That just does not, I would not want to be judging that. That sounds a little, I don't know about that. Who wants to tell a family that their baby isn't as good looking as the other baby? All right, there's more to come. Dear Ariel coming up next on the Uncle Henry Show.
The Glenn Beck program introduces a new eve. The eve of global war. Celebrate with your family and friends. Today at 5, News Radio 710, WNTM.
Let's listen to a conversation with the partners of McNeil Aarons Lambert Financial Group.
Hey, Virginia, have you ever heard one of these before?
Nope, that must have been before my time.
Not quite, but close. It's called a slide whistle, and it makes a sound that resembles the movement of our stock market.
Wow, John, the downside sounds pretty bad. Could that be another 2008?
Well, it might be, but we position our clients so that they're protected against the downside risk of the market, but still participating in a portion of the upside.
Folks, remember the kazoo when you listen to the stock market reports. But call us if it raises the question, what if?
Call McNeil Aarons Lambert at 666-5000. That's 666-5000. Ed and Virginia are investment advisor representatives with AE Wealth Management. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, which is an SEC-registered investment advisor.
The folks at Mobile Bay Harley want to see you on a Harley-Davidson. They're so serious that they're offering a $1,000 gift card with the purchase of any pre-owned Harley. That's right, they're willing to pay you to ride one home. Catch Bike Nights on Thursday the 22nd and every other Thursday following as you join them for free food, drinks, and live entertainment. Stop in on any Saturday in June and enjoy a free barbecue and a brew as you take a look around the showroom. So what are you waiting for? Come by Mobile Bay Harley where there's always a party.
Hi, I'm Chris Morgan, GM of Your Bay Bears, inviting you to come out to...
Here we are on Facebook. When I've got an update from the city of Mobile from my email that I'll share on the radio here in a moment. Also, Chad, we've got Dear Ariel. We've also got Chad, hang on. I'll be getting to Chad in just a moment. Also, an email, we were discussing the Jay-Z album. Shocking for me to discuss it, but it's on 100.3. Ariel, join me here quickly because this is about you. Subject line on the email is Jay-Z album. Email reads, Uncle Henry, I just confirmed the Jay-Z album is on BitTorrent sites. Would Ariel hypothetically like a copy? Not that I would do anything like that. The question is merely hypothetical.
I like the way he works. No, because I generally download stuff to my phone. Then that means I would have to actually take the copy that you gave me, rip it to my computer, and then put it on my phone. And that is way too much work.
Okay. All right, that offer was... Now, that was not a real offer. That was a hypothetical offer.
That was a hypothetical offer. So hypothetically.
That was from KP. Yeah. He wasn't really offering it. He was just saying that if people were out there doing that, would you want some type of torrented... Okay. All right, well, stand by. Ariel, I'll be coming to you very soon.
Okay.
We do have Chad. Maybe Chad can set me straight, which wouldn't it be great if... I'd love to have a segment on the show at the end of every show where somebody would call in and just set me straight so that I'm in the right direction. That would be another great instance of me not having to think. All right, stand by. We go back to radio right after the weather.
line. However, we really haven't seen any delay through the area there. Today is the last day of June, and good riddance. It turned out to be one of the wettest months on record. The airport at Pensacola, rain gauge there, recording 20 inches of rain. That's more than 3 times the normal average for June. There are a number of road closures still in effect in Santa Rosa County. I'm Ray Romero.
This report brought to you by Cockrell's Paint and Body Shop.
Gulf Coast weather from Local 15 and the Chemco Metal Buildings Weather Center.
TGIF, everybody. We've got about a 50-50 shot of wet weather as we kick off this holiday weekend. High temperatures will top out in the upper 80s. A 40% chance of showers Saturday, 30% by Sunday. And then when we look ahead to the 4th of July on Tuesday, our temperatures are going to get bumped up into the low 90s with a 30% chance of wet weather. I'm Kelly Foster for Local 15 News and this iHeartRadio station.
This morning at 9, Ask the Expert. Then Rush at 11. Right now, it's Uncle Henry on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show. Thank you for listening to the Uncle Henry Show. We've got Chad and an edition of Dear Ariel. Before we get to that, though, the city of Mobile has just sent out an email saying that they are moving the 4th of July celebration to Cooper Riverside Park due to the poor conditions of the fields at Battleship Memorial Park because it's rained so much. We just heard our traffic guy say that we've had record rain. And they're saying it's not going to be dry enough for parking. So Cooper Riverside Park is where they're moving the 4th of July Independence Day celebration. All right, let's talk to Chad. Thank you for holding, Chad. Good morning.
Hey, roll tide, Uncle Henry.
Roll tide, roll!
Hey, I was going to tell you one thing with the fireworks deal. Satsuma has a celebration over the week. It's not on the 4th, but July 2nd. I think 8 o'clock in the evening, they start a big fireworks show at Wright Park in Satsuma.
Oh, okay, good.
It's usually a really nice fireworks show. We take the kids every year, so if anybody's interested in that. But I was going to comment on the Donald Trump heel face debate you got going on.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump would definitely be a heel, but he would probably be one that, whether you wanted to or not, you would have to like him. You know, kind of like a Ravishing Rick Rude or something like that comes out and insults everybody and plays dirty the whole time and then wins and everybody loves it, you know, so.
Well, in wrestling, don't some of the people go back and forth and they're a heel for a while and then they're a face and they kind of go back and forth?
Yeah, and that's kind of a crowd demand, you know. I mean, if a guy's making you money and he's the one everybody wants to see, whether it's to see him, to love to hate him, or because you like him, you know, I mean, you got to put him in front of the show, and I think Donald Trump's that type of guy, you know, almost like a Macho Man Randy Savage or something, you know. He's like a one-man circus, and you don't know if he's just going to go off or what he's going to do, and I think that's the appeal a lot of people have for Donald Trump, you know. You don't know what he's going to do next.
I agree with that. I don't really know. Hey, Chad, I've got to run, but thank you very much, and thank you for mentioning Satsuma's celebration. Satsuma is also on my bug out list of cities they're on my list of wonderful places that I might live theoretically and hypothetically. All right, let's go to we have another edition here of Dear Ariel. This is where we take letters to Dear Abby, and instead we put them to Ariel so that we can compare the answers of Abby and Ariel. Ariel, are you ready for your letter?
Yes, let's do this.
Dear Ariel, I am a single 38-year-old woman. I haven't been in a relationship in more than 10 years because of school, work, and kids. Lately, since I graduated, I have been on a string of blind dates. Men seem to want to hold my hand, touch my hair, stroke my arm, etc. right away. When I say I don't like it, they say they're just being affectionate because they like me. Ariel, I'm a cerebral person. I've fallen in love with men who are not conventionally attractive because they appealed to me intellectually.
Okay.
I've rejected handsome men because we weren't intellectually compatible. Unless I feel some sort of rapport, I might as well be ablankual. I am not turned on, and I do not want to be touched.
Okay.
My dates, my friends, and my family say this means I'm not ready for a relationship. What do you think, Ariel? Is it unreasonable to want to feel a connection with someone before exchanging touches? What's the likelihood of success in courting when everyone keeps their hands to themselves in the beginning? And that is from No Touchy, Please.
Okay, so first of all, no, you're not being unreasonable. The people around you are being unreasonable. Like, you are absolutely allowed to say, please don't put your hands on me. Now, there is a way to say it to where, you know, nobody gets their feelings hurt. Like, you know, hey, maybe not so much the hold the hands thing. The better question is, why are you going on blind dates? Sis, meet people. Get to know them. Make sure they understand your boundaries before you all out in public with them, because then I guess they don't know not to stroke your hair. Now, again, you are absolutely allowed to say, no, please keep your hands to yourself. And it's not a big deal. Like, eventually somebody's going to respect that, and maybe that's going to be the person that you need to be dating. But I don't think you're being unreasonable saying keep your hands to yourself.
Okay. All right. Well, Ariel, you and Abby are pretty much on the same page here.
Good grief.
You are. Abby says a date may get the impression you're not ready because the way you're delivering your message.
Right.
Try telling them exactly what you told me, that unless you feel an intellectual connection, being touched makes you uncomfortable. Most men appreciate a woman who expresses herself clearly about what she likes as well as what she doesn't like.
Not to mention, most of the time these blind dates are, you know, hookup central.
Hookup Central.
Just saying. You got to make sure you got the boundaries there in the beginning.
All right. Thank you, Ariel.
Certainly.
Dear Ariel. Almost out of time on the Uncle Henry Show. We'll be taking some time off. The company has ordered me off the air for Monday. They've declared it a company holiday, even though I believe that should not be a holiday. Monday should be a regular productive work day. Our country was not founded on July 3. But the company's ordering me off, so I'll be back on the 6th. I will be back here on the 6th. Find us on the 6th. And let me mention again, the city of Mobile, if you were going to go to the Battleship for their big celebration, they are moving it to Cooper Riverside Park because there's been so much rain, and there's going to be more rain possibly today. They just don't think you'll be able to park at the Battleship on those fields. They're going to be too wet. So Mobile moving 4th of July celebration to Cooper Riverside Park. Getting some use. Cooper Riverside Park, not used very often. Getting some use. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please be safe on Independence Day and before and after.